Brother Kalunda.
Assalamu alaikum.
Kalunda.
Oh.
Actually, I'm waking up at about 4 o'clock. Just waking up.
I understand.
Do that thing, bro.
I'm officially a vampire.
I tried to tell you that, my brother.
Yeah, you told me that a long time ago. I'm a vampire.
And I want to listen. I tried to get you to the right point. Take the proper rituals. You refuse to understand what I had to say to you.
You're looking good, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
That
means a lot, brother, coming from you.
I'm very proud of you.
It touches my heart right here, brother, right here.
Tell the truth.
Welcome to the First 40 with the Goon Squad. It is I, Puma, along with Black Thor and Ice Water, going to talk sports with you this week. And we're going to start out with a segment we used to do on our podcast that we're going to bring back, we should bring back, and we are bringing back tonight, called Hot Topics. And the first topic we're going to hit is Urban Meyer. He may be heading to Jacksonville, and our report says he's heading to Jacksonville. Ice, I'm going to go to you first because Black is over there gloating because he's the guy who, if you watch our shows, he's the guy looking at the monitor up above, always trying to sniff out breaking stories to break out on the show. But I know Urban Myers has health issues. I'm not sure this is going to be the move for him. Even though you're getting the number one draft pick, we're going to be talking about the game last Monday. This Jacksonville seems like a headache job for a head coach and running that organization. Give me your views on Urban Meyer's move to Jacksonville.
Well, it had to be the right move. I mean, one of the right moves. And one of the other moves would have been the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people don't understand that. And because that's something he would listen to, because it was the next step. I think this particular situation going to Jacksonville is based on a lot of things. One, money, okay? Then they hurt the situation. But two, their willingness, I think, to open the door to him. Think about this. I think he always wanted to be an NFL head coach. He wanted to at least test the waters, right? I think he really always wanted to do that. And for him to come now and do that, considering when he was supposedly had some type of illness or something, or whether or not he wanted to continue on coaching football, things are falling right into place. They have the number one pick in the NFL draft. You get to choose your quarterback. You get to choose so many different things that are at his disposal. I think they also have another pick that's pretty good in the first round. So he put out a list of things that he wanted, almost pretty much demands. Some people might say he held him ransom. But he had a list of demands that he wanted, and they checked him off. And I'm sure he talked to his wife, and she says, yeah, okay. But the whole point of it is, every time he jumps into a job, particularly lately, even with the Ohio State job, people think he's acting as if he's going to coach for the next 10 years. That's not happening. I'm trying to tell you. I think this is a short run. See what he can do. If it's not for him, he'll bounce out. The only reason why he came to Columbus, because he wanted to have his name next to Woody Hayes. He got one championship. He got that. And then other things happened. He's like, okay, I'm out. So, I mean, hey, he loves Florida. Florida was good to him. They are desperate. The owner's desperate to have whatever they need to do to move forward. And then when your options are to go to Jacksonville with a team that still needs some work for sure, but you get to pick your quarterback and so many other different things. It was like I said, it was perfect for him if he's going to make the move other than going to the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Black, you kept talking a couple of weeks, and then you sent us a text message saying that it's final, that he's on his way to Jacksonville. What are your thoughts about this, sir?
Well, I'm going to say this, man. You know, I work tirelessly.
With your Browry Boys hat on. Y'all clowning tonight.
Big stories to this show, baby. I'm just going to say this. I think it's a good move for him. I do. I think Jacksonville's not a bad team. You look at their record, you think they're worse than what they are. It's not a bad team. They were just underutilized under coach. And this may sound harsh to some. To me, if I look at Urban Meyer's track record, whenever he kind of wears out his welcome, he moves on, bro. He kind of did it in Florida. I don't think in Ohio State he had a choice. I think it was coming to where powers be whatever wanted him gone, and the health issue kind of basically maybe got overblown. And I just think that he's a man that wants to be on the sideline. It's just him being up there on Fox Sports was cool, but he wants to be on the sideline. And he has all those demands. I'm not, who am I? I'm not a doctor to judge his health, but he wanted to be on the sideline. I think he's going to a pretty good team. Like I said, Florida, just him going back to Florida, what's going to do to that franchise in general in that area. When it was time, they pull more fans in, there'd be more excitement. You got the number 1 pick. Jacksonville is not a bad team. And if I understand correctly, he held out for a lot of money, bro. I'm going to venture to believe he's probably getting more than John Gruden's getting per year. How do you not go back? How do you not go back, man? How do you really not? When you're born to coach, you've won at everywhere else, every level where else. How do you not step into the big arena and make it happen? I think it's going to take them a little while, but I do think it's going to turn that team around. They will definitely start to take off. And I think it's a good hire for Jacksonville. I think it's a very good hire for Jacksonville. Looking at what was out there, and there was probably no other coach they can bring in at this point that's going to bring a level of excitement and energy outside of him. And they got it, man. I mean, that's a team that we see from time to time comes to get close, and then they kind of move away. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a chance where he picks the players or not. I hope he doesn't take that position on. And I'm not saying he's not capable, but I'd rather see him just focusing on coaching. I just rather see him focusing on coaching and doing what he can do because he's shown that he can basically lead a team, lead young men, and I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be exciting. But, next time maybe when I kind of drop some knowledge or something, you two are kind of support a little more than what you usually do in the past.
Okay, look.
Moving right along.
Look. Okay, you probably had him going back somewhere to college too, right?
I did not say that. I did not say it. Check prior shows. I said to you before the end of the season, I said, don't be surprised. Urban Meyer ends up on the NFL sideline.
All right. You got that. You can take the hat off now.
Keep it on.
That I'm sticking it to you hat. I'm going to stay with you on this one, Black, or James Harden. Because you did say that James Harden wasn't going anywhere. And my mother used to always say to me, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And now he's at Brooklyn. We don't know when Kyrie's going to play. KD is holding down the team by himself. I'm looking at the guys they gave up with LeVert and other players. They don't seem to really have a bench now, which they really did when they had just the 2 superstars there. And what do you think about this trade? I'm just waiting for the shenanigans to start.
I'm going to say this, man. I'm so pissed off. I don't even know the players. If you don't mind, hit me to the players that they gave up because you said LeVert. I'm
gonna let Ice. They gave up LeVert and they gave up some other guys on that squad. Ice, who did they give up?
Well, you mentioned about LeVert, but the main thing were the picks. There's a lot of picks. Like I think Houston's getting like 3 first-round picks, maybe a 4th. They made a ransom deal from that standpoint, and then you had a couple other guys move around. Like Houston ended up with a LeVert, but they traded LeVert to Indiana for Victor Oladipo. So yeah, Oladipo is now in Houston, and LeVert's going to be starting for the Indiana Pacers as shooting guard.
And then they gave up Jarrett, the backup center, and he's over at Cleveland now.
Right.
And so they did a lot of maneuvering around the 4-team trade. And go ahead, Black. What you got to say? Because you frowning up over there.
I just don't. I mean, this guy is the general manager of this team. His name escaped me, of the Brooklyn Nets. He's way to me. He has no idea what he's doing. And I'm not saying this was a wrong move, but you didn't even recruit Irvin or Durant to come there. Irvin chose to be there, so it was an easy sign. Now Durant just showed up and said, "I'm coming." Another easy sign. But to me, since they've been there, they've been a general manager of this team, bro. They've been running. I watched this team play the Lakers without Durant, without Irvin, not much of Durant, and they smashed the Lakers. So you got a bunch of young cats now that have been coming along that can basically solidify this franchise for the next 5 to 10 years. You're going to bring in this clown, Harden, that he can't get along with no one. He has to have the ball in his hand at all times. You got Irvin. We don't know what's going on with him, realistically. We have no clue. But I said this a couple of years ago when he was in Boston. He's a little spoiled brat. And when they're playing well without him, that's why he disappeared, because they're playing well without him. He wants to be the focal. When he's not the focal, he takes his ball and run, i.e. Cleveland Cavaliers. When he realized he couldn't outshine LeBron, I got to get out of here, trade me. So, to me, this is a mess, bro. I mean, I saw the coach on TV the other day. He couldn't even look in the camera. His hair was down. He never looked up because there's so much going on behind the scenes with Durant and the rest of them. Now you're going to put Harden in that mix? It's unbelievable, man. And Ice just said you gave up 3 first-round draft picks for a player that has bad knees, Irvin, that can't stay healthy, don't really want to be there, showing you he's a brat. For Durant, you don't know how he's going to play the whole season. He's not a super healthy player anyway. And you got a gunner. So you basically mortgage your future for those 3 players. Now, I know I'm not putting them all together with the deal with Durant, but that's what you have now. So now it's really going to be give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Outside of possibly Durant, who's playing defense?
I caught inside the NBA a little bit when I was turning and channel surfing, and Charles Barkley. I kind of stuck with him when he was saying Durant left the Splash Brothers and he's going to the Dribble Brothers because these guys can pound the rock for 23 seconds and then put up a shot in the last second. A buddy of mine on Twitter who's a fan of ours, and he was saying, oh, man, the rich get richer. And I'm like, hold up a minute. Chemistry is everything. I'd rather have chemistry than talent any day, because if you go through the history of sports, chemistry sometimes most times beats talent, okay? And I'm a guy, old school NBA, where you had the most talented team with the 76ers back in the day, and chemistry of the Portland Trail Blazers came back and won 4-2. And you see it over and over again in the NBA where chemistry will beat talent. What's your thoughts on this trade?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Houston did it because they felt like it was nothing else they could do. He was mad. He was acting some kind of way. And I know we always talk about he's under contract. You make him stay. But if you're really trying to move forward and want to win and try to build something on your franchise, you got a brand new head coach that's really learning the ropes himself, Silas. And you want just to be more peaceful than anything. And if you knew Harden's not going to be, if he's going to just, he was hanging out, he was doing things, taking off 2 and 3 days, trying to work back with him. And eventually they just said, you know what, we're going to trade you, but we're going to trade you when we want to. And I think that's what they did. A lot of people look at Philadelphia. You could have had Ben Simmons maybe, but they wanted more, and Philadelphia didn't want to move. So with that in mind, I don't think, actually, considering what happened, when you mentioned that, I don't think it was a bad trade for Houston at all.
I don't think so either.
You got rid of Harden, who didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You made the flip. You get those 3 picks and something else. You have some other guys coming in too. But you trade LeVert to Indiana for Victor Oladipo, who really is trying to get himself back on point. So you got Oladipo. You have you have John Wall, and you also have the big fella, Cousins. Yeah, trying to come around. And then they have, when you look at it too, they also had the young guy that's really playing his butt off, Christian Wood.
Yeah.
And Gordon and PJ Tucker. So it's a lot there. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, but they're going to run and play and learn a little bit about one another. And John Wall's on a mission. I really believe that. I think he's just kind of like, okay, good riddance. You're out of here. You don't want to play. Hell with you. See you next time. But I think Houston for the future is going to be okay. They have to decide whether or not they want to bring back Oladipo. But I think they're going to be okay. If we move forward to your question with Brooklyn, the key is, as you mentioned, is chemistry. My biggest thing is this. James Harden, for the last few years, ever since he's been in Houston, I guess, 7 years, he's been the man. No matter who you brought in Chris Paul, you brought in Westbrook, whoever else you bring in, he was the guy. He was the guy putting it up. And the general manager, Morey, who's over in Philadelphia, loved him, all of that. So it was his world. Now he complained, and as you said, be careful what you ask for. You went to a contender, supposedly. You went there to a contender with Durant. Also, you went with Kyrie when he shows up. You also have Jeff Green that plays his butt off over there. And they have a decent a roster still. But the question I have, more than anything, with his chemistry is, you the third wheel now, bro. He is the third wheel. So in chemistry, it means you just can't come out and just pull up like that, or it's going to be a problem. Do you think Durant is going to defer to you? We know Kyrie's not going to defer to you. So you're the third option on that team. Can you handle that? You begged for it. You said you wanted it. Now you have it. So I don't know what the coaches are going to do, but can you handle being the third wheel? You were the third wheel, maybe the fourth wheel when you were OKC. Can you handle that? We know what it's been like when you've been the man in Houston, but that's my biggest question with that chemistry. Can he handle it? And people's like, well, you can debate this. Well, he's not going to do this and that. I guarantee you he's not going to get more shots than Kevin Durant. You can write that down right now. You can write that down. Kevin Durant is not deferring to him. And I'm telling you, Kyrie Irving, nah, unless he goes AWOL. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They have still some decent talent there. Like I said, the Jeff Greens of the world, Spencer Dinwiddie's done for the year. They have still a little something left. But the question is, what do they want to do and how good do they want to be? Because if those three guys play together, they still could be a problem for some people in the East. A lot of people.
One of the things that was interesting to me is that Morey, who was the general manager at Houston, went to Philly. You would think that he would pull the trigger on a trade with Harden because he loves Harden so much, but didn't do it.
He tried. Don't believe me. He tried.
He tried.
They were second. They were second.
I don't think that's a bad not getting a player for Philly. Because I think he would have really messed up that chemistry in Philly. Even though, and their chemistry is very fragile to say the least right now. But I think it would have really messed up the team chemistry. And I think Doc Rivers is a coach that, sometimes they said that he really doesn't coach. Imagine James Harden being there and him not really coaching up the team and how he would just tear up the team. And I've been saying this for years. Harden is not a playoff player. So in the playoffs, you might as well sit him down because, when you go 2 for 17 and all this other stuff, it's almost like, and I dare say, it's almost like he fixes games himself. Like, I know we're the favorite, but, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to choose to play. It doesn't look really good when he's in the playoffs. And what he does in the regular season and playoffs, two different things. But you're right. I think you're right. Third wheel to say the least. And like Charles Barkley said, and I definitely don't quote Charles Barkley too often, but he was dead on this. Kevin Durant left the Splash Brothers for the Dribble Brothers. These guys like to, be on highlights with their handles and all that other stuff and getting the triple doubles and getting the MVPs. And it's just going to be interesting to see how Steve Nash, first-time coach, handles this. Can he coach this? Because, when you had Kyrie talking about when he came on board saying, it's going to be a coach by committee, I don't think they threw that idea away, especially when they're on the court and they feel like Steve Nash is not in tune with them. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. It's just going to be very interesting to see this. It's going to be big headlines in New York. The other point I'm going to say and leave this and then go to our MLB story is that, you know what, when it all comes down to it, can these three handle the press in New York when things aren't going well? Can they handle the criticism and the critiques? From the past behaviors they've been showing, I don't think so. Me and my dad were on the phone scratching our heads, trying to figure out why the Cleveland baseball team gave up Francisco Lindor. You're in Ohio. Can you explain this bonehead move to me?
The only thing I can understand, I don't even understand it. The only reasoning they gave is because they were cutting costs. They didn't want to pay him the money. They knew next year they would have to pay him a larger salary to extend him for a larger a larger contract, and they just didn't want to do that. So you don't want to do that, then you let some of the greatest players go. They're not the first, they won't be the last. It didn't make a lot of sense. The guy's a leader. Lindor's a leader. He's one of the most talented individuals in baseball, and he makes things happen. But unfortunately for Cleveland, they couldn't get past the next level when it came to the postseason. So it happens. Maybe they felt they've run the course of the team and the talent that they've had in the past recently. Because this last year, I think they had like the Cy Young Award winner or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And he flamed out. And you thought they were really going to give the Yankees or somebody else, the Astros, a run for the money. They did nothing. So maybe they're at that point, they just kind of reached that pinnacle and said, hey, we're going to let him go. But yeah, I mean, New York, they got a gift. They got a gift. We'll see if the Mets going to mess this up. I don't think so because I like their new general manager. But I think they got a gift. And what they should do, I sign him unless he was hurt for the next 25 years because he's a young dude. And he has charisma. New York will love him.
Yeah.
And he's a hell of a player. It's almost watching, and I get off this real quick. I compare his play, probably better than that, but the shortstops like Omar Vizquel, right, back in the day. Mm-hmm. And then also with Ozzie Smith, the Wizard. There's something about them, they're just magical when they're on the field. Even like the Derek Jeters of the world. There's a guy you just want on your team. And, hey, Cleveland messed up, and the Mets better do everything they can to secure him and build around him.
Yeah, that's a great move for the Mets. It reminded me of, the Red Sox giving up Mookie Betts. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as they give him to the Dodgers, that was the missing piece for them to get a World Series. And so not saying the Mets are going to get a World Series, but they got a great player. And I think they're going to be moving on up with that because he's one of those players that once you have him in that ball club, his winning and his attitude is infectious. And the team wants to rally around him to win for him. Black, the championship game last week with Alabama and Ohio State, and I was texting you all during this game, and I said Devontae Smith, it was just too much Devontae Smith. I was really rooting for Ohio State. I was really rooting for them to do really well. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why they weren't bumping running on Devontae Smith. Then they started moving him around. Then I saw them, trying to zone him up. And I wouldn't be surprised, I hate to say it, the Mets got a great player. I wouldn't be surprised if the New York Jets pick up Devontae Smith.
Well, that's a possibility because I don't know if you guys heard this recently. It seemed like the Jets had their eyes on Watson, the quarterback from Houston, bro, with that second pick. They're thinking about coming out of it and trading for Watson. So that happens, he will not be there. I was rooting for Ohio State myself. Tim May said something, and I don't want to quote him exactly, but kind of paraphrasing sense about Alabama, about the players they get. And it's almost not even fair to watch college football, bro, because they have the top-ranking high players. And it's just you watch them play, even beyond that receiver, they got other ones. It's just like they're just too much.
Harris, the running back.
Yes, and it's like it's almost like it's not to the same extent as UConn girls basketball team was in college basketball, but it's like these players. And to me, it's like when these cats put on an Alabama uniform, they become men immediately. They're no longer amateur players. They become men. And what happens is, I know we talked about this, and you were more on this a few weeks ago about these other teams. No one stands a chance, bro. The Cincinnatis, these other schools, they don't stand a chance because Alabama has built this program to where they're going to get the best players, and what's left are going to go to a few other schools. I mean, Clemson and Ohio State will always kind of be there. Then it's always going to be what we saw this year. It's going to be a significant drop-off for college football. And some teams every now and then will catch some lightning in a ball like LSU did one year, and they'll match up. But realistically, it's no, unless you, I see plenty of people, Gold Coat, Cry Hide, Alabama, whatever, and it's like, it's no longer competitive in my eyes. And that's what I got to say about that game Monday night, bro. If I was sitting around waiting to watch it, I'm not a fan of Alabama or Clemson. Was it really a good game to watch? Not really. Because it almost seemed like there's a bunch of grown men playing some men, trying to be grown men. And that's not taking nothing away from Ohio State. I mean, games they play, they're well coached, they're good. I like their quarterback. They have some talent in themselves. But Alabama's team, and it's not just this year. Every year they're just that much above the rest of the landscape. And at some point, it's like it's not even interesting to watch. And that's where that game came off to me. By the second quarter, I paused my TV, bro, halfway through the second quarter. I left it and came back about an hour or two later, and I saw the score, and I was like, I'm not surprised. I will say this, though. Speaking of the game, and I got out of the way after this. I like what ESPN did with the game itself. It allows you to hear the network with Herbie and other gentlemen calling the game, or you could have switched to where they had 4 people talking about the game back and forth, giving you insight on every single play. To me, I thought that was the best part of the game, in my opinion, because they would speak every play. They kind of gave you an idea what could happen next, what took place. And that's something, I think NFL did this one time, or we might have saw with a league outside NFL, where you get people in a room and they're watching a game, or coaches are watching a game, and they're talking about stuff beyond the commentating, and they're showing you little nuggets and nuance of the game that I like.
Yeah, they've been doing that for the last couple of years, which is very interesting to see their take on the game. They even got Nickelodeon involved. If you're getting them involved in the NFL, I don't know if they're trying to reach a younger generation, but I think it helps folks who've been watching football and who know football a lot more advanced fans, I would call them, a better insight on the game. And sometimes I'd rather watch that than the commentators on the game, because they're kind of giving the fluff, and they're kind of catering to an audience who's probably just watching just the championship game and not trying to get too far over their heads. Sometimes I was at the game Monday night. I was watching it. I'm like, man, Ohio State might have blew their wad, beating the brakes off of Clemson, and maybe they just didn't have enough to compete against Alabama. What's your take on the game?
Yeah, well, when I looked at the game, I watched how it come out, and it's easy to come up and go, oh, wow. You saw Trey Sermon go out the game, second play or whatever like that too. Mm-hmm. So many other things are going on. But I think it comes down to strategy and execution. Alabama had a strategy going in offensively against Ohio State, and they knew that they were very weak at times in the defensive backfield, defensive secondary. So they had a plan, but most importantly is they executed their plan. So they opened it up. So that means to attack Ohio State's secondary, they started using slants, which means Smith was open. He started showing up in different places. Then they start throwing the ball over the top, which put linebackers in the wrong positions, a major weakness for Ohio State. And Alabama took advantage of it, and they did what they're supposed to do. And then when you flip that over, when the Alabama defense coming for Ohio State, the strategy was to put as much pressure on Fields as possible. And when you had Sermon out the game, it changed the game up too. Also, too, Ohio State went away from the other intangibles that they used previously. You got to keep throwing that damn ball to the tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
You have to get rid of the ball as quick as possible. Fields had to. You can't just go back. We're going to run the ball, and then hopefully somebody else, the 2 wide receivers and Wilson and Olave will get open, and somebody else will do that too. You have to have that man get rid of the ball. His ribs are hurting. Everybody knew about that too. And it was just one of those things. Again, it comes back down to Alabama's strategy, and they executed. They did it well. They did it so well that some people probably noticed, but when Smith got hurt, he basically broke his hand. Mm-hmm. And they were so far ahead, they didn't even bring him back in. They just kept running the machine. The machine was going. They kept pushing it. Ohio State was struggling with it, and they just could not get out of their own way. And kudos to Alabama. There are times when your team, even if a team that you like, you have to realize and recognize the execution and the strategy and the execution and what they did. Alabama showed up. They proved that they were the best team in the country, and there's no shame in that. It is what it is. But you still show up, you still play. So it's not like a whine and crying and no excuses. Alabama was the better team. Again, I'll just say this, and I'm not saying Ohio State didn't want to win. But the one game they definitely want to win, and not saying it was whatever, they wanted their Clemson win. Yeah. Not saying they didn't want to win, but that whole Clemson situation was whatever it was. I wouldn't know if they shot their wide, because then that's taken away from Alabama. Alabama was really on point. They did what they had to do. You had a lot of people with attitudes and chips. The Mac Jones quarterback had waited this turn a long time behind Tua, and before that, others before that, it hurts. He was waiting a long time, and everybody said he really wasn't that good, and he kind of showed doubt that this was his turn. So, hey, they won. They won fair and square. They deserved to win. They proved they were the best team. So, I mean, somebody has to be there. Somebody has to lose, has to come in second place. But you can't tell me Notre Dame and other teams will not want to be there. But then again, like you said, give Alabama their kudos. They won the national champions. And Ohio State just needs to get ready and see what they can do next time around.
Yeah, definitely give Alabama their credit because they played a hell of a season with that schedule and the championship game. But one of the best quotes I heard from the game was from Najee Harris. They were interviewing him, and they was like, how is it so easy to execute, going through the gaps and all that stuff. He was like, man, were you watching that game? They were blowing my ass up. Them guys over there can hit. He was like, no, man, I ain't sitting here saying it was easy. It's like those guys were blowing my ass up coming through. There was one shot where a linebacker shot the gap and just caught him in the backfield. And I thought he was going to have concussion because he kind of stood there like a deer in the headlights, like, whoa. And he didn't move. And so, yeah, they were definitely hitting. I always put the surround sound on my TV in games like that. And I recommend that everybody do that with games like that, with hockey, stuff like that, and hear the hitting on the field. And you can tell that those teams are serious. Let's go to NBA basketball real quick before we go to the NFL playoffs. Boston is leading the Eastern Conference, followed by Milwaukee and Philadelphia, Indiana. And the Knicks are 5-7, Black. Surprise, surprise, surprise. In the Western Conference, you got the Lakers leading the Western Conference, followed by the Clippers, Utah, and Portland, followed by Phoenix, who are in the 5th spot in the Western Division. And teams that I thought that would be better this year, you got New Orleans, you got Denver, and you got Memphis and Houston. They are all in the bottom feeders of the Western Conference. And in the East, you have the bottom feeders, teams I thought that would be better. Toronto, 2-8. 2-8. Miami, 4-5. Maybe a little punch drunk from playing in the bubble. I don't know. But Black, your thoughts on the NBA season so far, man?
Denver surprises me where they are in a sense. I thought they were going to kind of pick up from the bubble and be a little bit more competitive. I watched them play Dallas, which was a very good game, and Dallas went in the end and went to overtime. I mean, they can score, man. Denver can score, but until they find a way to shut you down from scoring, they're not really going anywhere. They're not going to be considered, in my opinion, a contender. I am a little surprised of Toronto. I mean, I know you lost the center with the Lakers now, but I don't understand why and they lost 2 big bodies, but the significant drop off to me, I find it a little surprising. It's not like they changed their roster that much. It's not like it's a different coach influx there. So that one kind of surprised me a little bit. The Knicks 5-7, I think is a good, even though it is 5-7, but I think it's a good sign for the Knicks. They're going in the right direction with a new head coach. And they're trying. So I haven't really watched them. I'm happy to see that. I'm not surprised with New Orleans, bro. Let's be honest. When they signed Van Gundy, Stan, whatever it's Gundy, whatever the case may be, we knew this was coming, bro. We knew. I mean, I don't know what that general manager was thinking. I have no idea. And signing him and putting him with those young cats, bro. I mean, he wears his sleeves up to here. He doesn't know what he's doing, bro. It's time out. That guy's been – there's a reason why Pat Riley stepped in and got Miami to win a championship last year. I mean, not last year, years ago. And he hasn't done jack since then. And they keep giving him opportunities over and over again. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But the NBA is starting to pick up its speed a little bit. They're starting to come around. I watched the Lakers a little bit. And, of course, I want to see what's going on in Brooklyn with this trade because I just don't see it possible. I think right now the 76ers are kind of doing smoke and mirrors. I don't trust them. But Boston, a solid team, bro. Solid fundamental team. They got some solid players, some young cats. They know their roles. They step up at big time. They do some things. And I don't want to necessarily say they're going to get there, but they will be there. In Milwaukee, I just don't trust them. I just don't trust Milwaukee. I don't care how much money you give a Greek Freak. He's no different than he was the last 2 years. he stumbles and bumbles through the game till the fourth quarter comes and then he gives you nothing.
Yeah. Ice, I know you and Black are going to get on me on this, but it would, I think it would behoove teams to play really well early because you don't know when this thing is going to get shut down. You got games being postponed and all that stuff. I know. I'm COVID man, but I watch the news. But you don't know when this stuff is going to get shut down, and you might be the team that might be out if they decide to put this thing back in a bubble. Your thoughts on this season, man?
Yeah, well, it's early. I mean, it's wide open. A lot of players they're not putting, they're restricting them from playing already because of how quick the season came around. So you got guys taking games off already, but it's interesting. But Boston has learned a lot. They played well last year. They just didn't have a lot of oomph. Hayward leaves, and they end up kind of getting a little tighter as far as things are going. And then you need Walker to come back once he's healthy. We'll see how they go, but they play hard, and I think I'm finding them very interesting. I'm not sure if they're going to win the East. Philadelphia still trying to figure it out, so they surround Simmons and Wnba with some shooters, and then you get the old man Dwight Howard around, so they're kind of piecing it together. We'll see what happens as they move along as the season. I think it'll take a little time to see what's going on. Milwaukee is still Milwaukee to me. I said that from the beginning. I know y'all love the Greek Freak and all. Nothing wrong with the Greek Freak, but you need people. You cannot do it by yourself. Ask Will Chamberlain from back in the day. If you would ask him back then, you cannot win it by yourself. You score 100 points. You need to play with other people. And that's just how it was. And, Will Chamberlain was an amazing player, but, until he went with the Lakers and hooked up with Jerry West and those guys, it was hard for him to kind of get that championship. But overall, you look at these other teams. You mentioned about Denver. I think Denver. You mentioned them losing some people. When they lost Jeremy Grant, he's in Detroit now. He went for the money. Now you have Michael Porter Jr., who played real well in the bubble, but now it's 82 games, bro. 82 games,
and he's hurt now.
Yeah, all right. So I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
but 82 games that you really had to put it on the line, and it's different. So you come in there, your dad's on the sidelines watching, that's all well and good, but when it comes for you to be the guy, the third option, it says a lot. So we'll see how they go. I think they're going to be really good. Got the 1-2 punch. Now the guard that they were missing last year as well is playing, but I think they're going to be missing just a little bit more as well. But the other team that I like too, I like Indiana, man. Because you got Indiana, you have Brogdon. Brogdon's running the point. Karis LeVert's going to be playing the 2 guard. I'm interested in that. So Bonus is playing out of his mind at center. At power forward. And Miles Turner. So I think they have a nice little chemistry thing going, and everybody's young for the most part. You even had T.J. Warren going to be coming off the bench once he gets healthy again. But I like the way that they play. They play well together. And I think they did not want to take a chance with Oladipo anymore because of the fact that he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. And he still has not proven that he's back to the regular form. So they took a chance and went and got LeVert to make that happen. But overall, when you look at the Lakers, you look at the Clippers, I think it's open. I think New Orleans is, as Black Thor said, Van Gundy. The game passed. It's past him. It really has. And you know how young guys are. They act like they can act as if they're listening to you, and they just tune you out and they just play their game. And I think that's something that people are going to be looking at. But we'll see what Brooklyn does. Y'all might laugh at this, but if they come and play with the 3 guys together and what else they have, and I think we also need to realize that the former Houston coach, D'Antoni, is probably going to be the one that's going to be pulling the strings.
Oh.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you because you laugh, but they at least they made a run. You laugh, but they made a run.
No defense.
Yeah, no doubt. But in the East, what is it going to take, really? Can they beat Milwaukee? I think so. Milwaukee has 2.5 dudes. No, my bad. It's 3 now because you picked up one of the brothers. I can't think of the name from UCLA. You picked up one of the guards. So yeah, but then there are 2. Boston, yeah, legitimately. We don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. So how hard will it be for when you think about it if Brooklyn comes together? I'm not sure that you're going to win a championship. I'm not saying that by any means. But talent-wise, every night, all you need is one guy to get hot. And I think the East has been that way, unless Boston proves to us that they're legitimately the main cog and the favorite in the East. But other than that, I think it's wide open. The door is open. Clippers are the Clippers, right? Yeah. And the Lakers are the Lakers. The Lakers had their moments. But I think it's going to come down to who wants it. I really do, particularly in the East.
Every time you talk about the talent, I think about, remember, Phi Sanders Jamma, Houston, one of the best basketball teams in college, in North Carolina State taking them down. I think about Villanova and Georgetown. Georgetown had all the talent in the world. Villanova in one night took them down.
You know what happened to Villanova? Let's be real. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be real about that Villanova.
Yeah. We'll talk about drugs and all that stuff in another episode. But you think about, I always say chemistry over talent. A lot of people thought that the Fab Five against North Carolina, 5 starters, North Carolina wins the championship. And over and over again, you can go New York Giants against New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Chemistry over talent. And so those folks who are giving Brooklyn the championship, pump your brakes. It's a long season. A lot can happen. And my history of watching sports is always chemistry over talent. Most times, I would say 95% of the time, chemistry over talent. All right. Let's go to NFL football. And the wild card last week wasn't a surprise that the Saints beat the Bears. And with that, Black, Nagy and Pace get an extension, which we all kind of knew what was going to happen. And Bears fans think that, oh, man, we made the playoffs and we're going to be in there next year. No, you're not, because you just kind of signed your way into another 2 or 3 years with these two that didn't really give you much. And you got on a hot streak with some under 500 teams. And the other game with the Ravens and the Titans, and Lamar Jackson's just a bad man. And when he ran that first touchdown, I'm like, this game is over. Because you give him that little light right there, you give him a little confidence. After he threw the interception, it was pretty much over. The Bills and the Colts, I kind of got worried at the end there, concerned. I don't get worried. Concerned that the Bills are going to give up that game against the Colts. I don't know if Rivers is going to be back. He shouldn't come back. And I was really surprised, Black, that the Seahawks did not put away the Rams. I was really surprised with that one. Of course, Pittsburgh, I know you're going to talk about that. And I got a message for all the Pittsburgh guys who keep talking about the Cleveland Browns. Shut up. You should have beat them the last game of the season and put them out the playoffs. Shut up. You don't get to talk anymore. You're not in the playoffs. And I was so pissed at Ben sitting on the bench at the end of the game. Get your big ass up and get off the field. You should have been out the league 5 years ago. Juju sitting on the bench trying to get attention. I'm sitting here screaming out at home, Black. Get up and shake your ass now and dance in the middle of the field now. Get up and do that now. All that stuff you were doing. And you guys really kind of I know there are a lot of – I got best friends who are Steeler fans. My boy Brian Hagan, big Steeler fan. We grew up Steeler fans. You know, it was their own demise. They really did this to themselves, Black.
Yeah, they really did, man. I find this interesting. I was speaking this with a cat earlier today. Whenever there's some problems with a team, you see some teams that have done this in the past week. They're fired defensive coordinator. They're fired offensive coordinator. And that Steelers fired offensive coordinator. I'll just throw this out as a rhetorical question. Did that offensive coordinator throw 4 interceptions on Sunday? I mean, realistically. Did he do that? I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, and like,
did he drop passes? Did he miss?
Yes.
Did he hike the ball over the quarterback's head?
Game. Did they practice? Cleveland didn't practice all week and showed up and put their foot in your ass. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns here. No disrespect to them. The way they played you the last week of the season, like you said, if you just won that game, why? I mean, Tomlin, I don't want to bash you, bro. But why are you sitting Ben for the last week? Has he played well enough to sit down the last week of the season?
Exactly.
He did not. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, Tom, you keep giving Ben this respect. I know he won Super Bowls in the past. And we've seen the same thing they won with the Giants years ago. You keep giving these old quarterbacks respect. That's what I love about Tampa Bay, what that coach said about Tom Brady. What you did in New England, I don't give a shit about no more. That's what you're doing here I'm talking about. What you did, that's pass. But the Steelers, to me, the problem started with them in midway in the season. It was 8-0, and it was going to play the Cowboys, and they're playing. They said, oh, we got this game. They took themselves too seriously, and they never got it back, bro. They never got it back. The same day, they took that game off before the season. That game, they couldn't get it back. I'm gonna go over to the Colts game real quick because I don't understand. To me, Buffalo, like you said, you get that far ahead, and that quarterback right now, to me, is playing lights out. I know they're talking about Aaron Rodgers, MVP, and he's probably going to win it. But realistically, has Aaron Rodgers done anything this year that he hasn't done before? And don't stand out. I'm gonna tell you something, man. That cat in Buffalo, that Rouse was slinging that ball, bro. He's slinging that ball. I know he let him back in. I was surprised that they came back in. But even, I'm going to say this about Phillip Rivers. He played well enough to win. That coach made some bonehead decisions in that game, bro. I don't understand. That young rookie running back is running well. You get the ball at the goal line, 1 yard line. Why are you doing a trick play, bro? What's this end around trick play, okie dokie stuff you're doing? And then you lose 2 yards on third down. It's 4th and goal now. And you try to go for, you couldn't get, I remember John Madden always say this. If you couldn't get it done in 3 plays, why are you going 4 and 4? And that's what happened. And to me, that kind of like turned that game, their momentum, kicked the field goal, kind of stayed close. Yeah. I will say this though. They basically, I'm jumping games. I'm going to the Ravens game. And Lamar played well. I'm not sure how much he can be doing that every week. But the Ravens defense shut down that running game, bro. They just kind of basically said, you ain't running on us. Our quarterback may run on you, but you're not going to run on us. We ain't having that. Not today. I'm not impressed with Tampa Bay beating Washington, bro. You let a third-string quarterback come in and almost take you out of it. I am not impressed at all. They're going to get the smacked out of them this week. They go to New Orleans and play. And I'm going to be happy to see it because I'm tired of hearing about Tom Brady. I won't hear no more. I want them out of the playoffs, and I have to hear about them until next year because if they beat New Orleans, right now they won the Super Bowl. That's all going to be talking about. Tom Brady, he's 40 this, he's doing this, he's eating olive oil, he's that. I don't want to hear any more of that. You said Seattle. You surprised? Seattle.
I am surprised. I'm surprised because
how can you be surprised when you got
a second-string quarterback.
Man, I don't think Russell. I've never seen Russell Wilson play scared in my life the way he played on Sunday, bro. No, I'm sorry, Saturday, bro. He didn't have a chance to basically go hike before there was a open. I'm telling you, man. Right now, seeing that linebacker number 54 working in the middle of that. Oh, he's coming at me, baby, because they was all over him. I didn't really know the Rams defense and stuff. No, man. I'm not sure how they're going to beat Green Bay, but that defense on Saturday, and they said they wanted Seattle. Bro, that defense swarmed him up. He was so tired after that game. And I'm looking at Russell like, okay, you have to decide quickly either want to run or throw. He was just confused, bro. They had him so confused he couldn't do anything. And then you have the receiver kind of calling him out on the sideline. Seattle just was a mess in that game, bro. I think their defense got inside their head. They was never able to get it going. In Chicago, I'm sorry, bro. I just don't get it, man. I don't care if they made it to the playoffs. How do you bring Matt Nagy back? What has he done in the years he's been there to deserve playing? I mean, getting another job, get an extension. Because he made it. They snuck basically into the playoffs this year. Don't get it. They snuck into the playoffs. And don't get it twisted. So for that, you extend them? What, 3 years? That's almost bad as, extending the guy in Michigan, Harbaugh, but paying him less money. Let me get this straight now. You could be mediocre and be a white guy. Let's be honest, bro. Let's be clear and be honest about this. You could be mediocre and be a white guy, get paid less money, or you could be mediocre for years, Chicago Bears, and be a white head coach and showing you nothing. A quarterback guru has done nothing with the quarterback he's been given for 3 years, and he gets an extension. You deserve to be the stinking team you're going to be. Michigan and Chicago, you deserve to be it. You really deserve it. And I'm going to enjoy watching it for the next year, the next 2 years, as being stink as you're going to be. Because if you think at the end of the day, Nagy deserves an extension, peace to you.
Ice, Ramsey has been, I'm calling him a shutdown corner. He's been shutting down he takes on the best receiver in every game, and he basically shuts them down. Metcalf, instead of yelling at, Wilson, you should be looking at yourself and how you couldn't beat Jalen Ramsey one-on-one. The other thing with Henry, they shut him down. And I was talking to a cousin of mine, my cousin Bill, about this, and he made me aware of this, is that the key to stopping Henry is to don't let him get full speed. Get him really quick, because you can't get in front of him full speed. And so that's what Baltimore did. I wouldn't want to get in front of him when he's running 4-3, 4-4, 4-5. Not that big. And peace to Philly getting rid of that coach. You needed to do that. But let's talk the wild card, Ice. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of madness going on. Chicago is not even really worth talking about because they signed the same guy over again. And when you don't have any wide receivers, you got Cordell Patterson as your top offensive threat besides Montgomery. It's going to be repeated the same thing. So we're not going to talk about that too long. And then you mentioned about Seattle. Russell Wilson was flustered, man. And they ran into something too much. They kept running the same thing over and over. Kept looking for DK Metcalf, who really was frustrated. What about the tight ends? What about using some more running backs? They fell in love with Carson, who played pretty well. But, again, Carlos Hyde, some other guys, I didn't even know that it's Leggett still on the squad or not. I mean, it's just they became so one-dimensional, and Russell was running for his life, literally. And so I was not surprised at all. I expected them to lose because we knew what Aaron Donald had done in the past, and we knew what that defense had done. They had exposed Seattle's offense. So that did not surprise me at all. So I looked at that too. Tennessee and Baltimore. Tennessee became one-dimensional too. They stopped using if he could not find Brown, the quarterback could not find Brown, then it was like, okay, let's hand off to Henry. Henry was so frustrated they didn't know how to get him involved. There's some things called screens. There's some other things they could have done. They became one-dimensional. Baltimore's like, if we just stay close, all we got to do is just turn it over to our quarterback. He's going to run. He's going to make 3 runs the whole game. He's going to make a few passes. He's going to throw for 127, and he's going to run for 115. That was the problem. That's what he did. That's what he did. He had that one long run, and that's what he did. He's that X factor. And if you let him stay close to you, and you don't shut him down, he's going to make that run. And that's the X factor, and that's what he did. So kudos to them. He finally did it again. And Tennessee still shaking their head. What happened? I don't know what happened. You'll figure it out. It's a little bit too late for that. Also, too, let's jump into, like I said, we don't need to talk about Washington because it is what it is. And Tampa Bay, they are, I think they're just waiting to take it down unless they decide they want to play. They're going to have to play. But New Orleans' defense is really tough. And that's going to be it's almost as if New Orleans' defense knows exactly what Tampa likes to run. And it gets Tom Brady out of sorts because of the factor that they go straight up the middle and they go after him, and he doesn't throw the ball to the right people. So I expect Tampa Bay to perhaps take that L. But, yeah, I'm going to go here because I tried to tell y'all before. Y'all laughed at me. They especially laughed at me here in Ohio. And I told them, I said, the Cleveland Browns, when they played them the first time in the game that didn't count, playing against third stringers, I said Cleveland was starting to get a little confidence. And Cleveland wanted to win. One, they had to win because to get into the playoffs, right? To qualify, they had to win. And
already in playoff mode.
Right. Pittsburgh took all their guys off the field. Everybody's laughing. Don't take it that seriously. Cleveland's like, look, we got to win this game. And it was close. Baker Mayfield got a lot of confidence. And they moved forward. And then the next week, it's like, okay, well, now we got our guys. We got Ben. We got this. Pittsburgh's ready. 11-0 Pittsburgh. Greatest team in the world. The world's team, right? Okay. Got y'all on that one. But it just comes down to, if I told you that Ben Roethlisberger would attempt 68 pass attempts, he threw 68 passes, He threw for 501 yards and 4 interceptions. Do you think you would tell me, even with the 4 interceptions, that Pittsburgh was going to lose? No way you would say. You would never say that. 501 yards, he almost threw the ball 70 times with all of the hype and everything. But the one thing they did not count on, Cleveland didn't even have their head coach on the premises. He had COVID. He tested positive for COVID. They were ready. Now, we usually call him Faker Mayfield. Not this week, baby. He was Baker Mayfield. He came. He rose to the occasion. They saw some things. The one thing they did see on offense that he did real quick, Pittsburgh likes to blitz a lot. You want to get Wilder involved, get all those things, all those guys running at you and confusing people and high-fiving and performing for the camera and all that other stuff. But this time, they shortened the duration of time that Baker Mayfield held the ball. So not 5 seconds, it's maybe 2.5, maybe 2 seconds, letting it go. And they had no answer for it. Cleveland was prepared. The one thing about Pittsburgh, great franchise, great team, particularly this year, they're very, what I call methodical. They run the same stuff over and over. They don't make a lot of changes. They don't have to because they've been that good all year, right? They don't have to make a lot of change. When the wheels fell off after that first play, when they scored 1-7 and it just kept going, you didn't see a lot of changes. They kept trying the same thing. Cleveland was like, all right. I was like, Cleveland, don't blow this. And they're like, nah, don't worry about it. We got this. And they just kept moving forward. They took down Pittsburgh. When you look at the way that, like I said, that the quarterback played, it was just amazing. And Cleveland was ready for this. They may not win another game. It don't matter. I said this before. I told one of my friends. I believe, and I might be over the top, and because y'all might say I don't like Pittsburgh, I'm not really tripping. I'm talking from an analyst perspective. I think that was a franchise-changing win for the Cleveland Browns. And I'm saying that because Pittsburgh has been destroying them for years, dominating, killing them. And you finally say, man, I've been trying to win this game. For years, I've been trying to get it. And when you finally make it, it's like a breath of fresh air, man. You don't know how bad. I'm telling you, I'm surprised they didn't have fires and all kinds of stuff going on in Cleveland when they beat Pittsburgh. Now, the ultimate thing is to win the Super Bowl. We don't know Cleveland's going to go there or anything like that. But we do know this. There's only 2 things that really matter in Cleveland. I'm going to tell you. I'll get off this real quick. I'm not even going to talk the rest of it. 2 things that matter. The ultimate way is to beat the Baltimore Ravens, because the Ravens took their team and won the Super Bowl. They will never, ever forget that in Cleveland, ever. I was at the last game. I saw how they shut everything down. People were crying, tearing the stadium up. They will never, ever forget that. The second thing, beat them damn Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I'm trying to tell you. In the playoffs, man, are you kidding me? The team that was undefeated for 11 weeks? Here come ugly, off the chain Cleveland, raggedy Cleveland. And they got them. So I'm telling you, they may not never do anything else the rest of the year. But damn it, you're going to see them highlights. They're going to keep rolling that thing off. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rock. They don't need nothing else. Like I sent you that little piece with the Doritos. Yeah. Not your year, baby. 11-0 though.
Yeah.
Hell of a start.
Not your year. They did it to themselves. Going into the divisional playoffs this week, you got the Rams and Packers. You got the Bucks and the Saints. You have the Ravens and the Bills, and you have those Browns against the Chiefs. Man, which games are you looking forward to? And if you want to, give me a little prediction. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I'll start with the Chiefs and the Browns. Browns, I'm with Ice there that they needed to beat Pittsburgh. They really do, but I think this is going to set them on a good course for a good time, man. A good time. It's going to give them confidence that they can build and grow on. But it's going to be tough for them to beat the Chiefs, bro. That's going to be tough. I just don't see them kind of taking down the Chiefs. Ravens and Buffalo. Interesting game here, bro. Very interesting. I'm going to take Buffalo in this game. I don't think that running game Lamar is going to be enough just to beat Buffalo. Buffalo, to me, I don't know if they pulled off the gas pedal when they was playing Indianapolis, but Diggs is playing out of his mind. Them two together are playing. It's just extraordinary. And this quarterback has a way of running to the sideline and keeping his head down the field and throwing it on a rope. I'm talking about a rope. And you think he's throwing the ball away, and it's like bang in the pocket of some wide receivers' breadbasket. So I don't think Baltimore's going to be able to hang with that for a long period of time. I think New Orleans got exactly what they want because they knew at some point there's going to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They decided early in the season that Tom Brady's not coming in their division and beating them. And I didn't think they're looking forward to putting them out the playoffs. Like I said, their defense goes right up the gut and go after him. They don't play around. They go right up the gut. They make him feel uncomfortable. He's going to start seeing ghosts, and it's not going to be pretty. So I'm taking the Saints with that one. Green Bay has had a time to rest up and face that defense. But I don't know, man. There's something about Green Bay. When you can bully them in the first quarter with a defense, Aaron Rodgers will give up. So this is going to be real interesting. Now, the Rams has not been a cold weather team since they moved out to pretty California. But if they can put together a good quarter defensively, they might take Green Bay. For that reason, I'm going to take the Rams in this game. I know that the quarterback is playing way too much money. But sometimes when playoffs comes along, we've seen this in the past history of the playoffs. If you got a team that can dominate defensively, if they could do what they do to Seattle's offensive line, to Green Bay offensive line, which I think they can, Aaron Rodgers, he don't want none of that, bro. He doesn't want none of that. Aaron Rodgers will give up and keep making commercials. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Rams with this one, man.
Hey, Black, you know what the weather going to be like in Green Bay this weekend? In the 20s, it may snow.
I'll say this, man. And that's very well could be true. But sometimes, man, when you're motivated and you're hyped, that's enough sometimes to make you overcome that, bro.
Okay.
I think the Rams, I don't know, the way they came out and played like beasts on Sunday, bro. If they can bring that same intensity in the cold.
Yeah. All right, Ice, you got the Rams and Packers, the Buccaneers and the Saints. You have the Ravens against the Bills, and you have the Browns against the Chiefs, man. Give me your eye test on a game that really interests you, or maybe you want to give me some predictions.
Yeah, Browns and KC. I mean, you glad Cleveland made it? Cleveland talking a little smack now about
oh boy, they turned into the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They're talking about, you know what, we can get them, maybe we can get y'all. No, it's gone. Relax, bro. Relax. Okay. Not saying it's not possible.
You did good.
But the odds are probably not. So just relax. Play the game. If you can stay close, who knows? Who knows? You did it against Pittsburgh. I don't think they're going to do it against Kansas City. I think Kansas City's been resting. Everything, like I told you before, they were preparing for the postseason. Now you're going to start to see. I didn't know he was even on the squad. Le'Veon Bell ran for it. What? I'll tell you. Watch what I tell you. They're about to unleash some things that you go, well, he didn't look like, I didn't think he was still playing anymore.
We got tape on that.
Exactly. I'm telling you, watch that. So I'm going to choose Kansas City with that one. Moving on, Saints and the Bucks. I mean, Tom Brady seems as if they're trying to get some things together offensively. He still is having trouble trying to find out Mike Evans. But I think just if the New Orleans defense comes around, and as they do and come up the middle and put Brady in some bad positions, I think they're going to win the game. The only thing is, though, and he's not going to do it because he hasn't done it this year, if Tom Brady could use all of the weapons at his disposal. It's almost as if one game he gets focused on one guy or two guys. Like he'll throw to Antonio Brown, and then he'll throw to the tight end or somebody like that. And that's all he focuses on. But if all those guys are collectively covered, somebody's open in single coverage. He just can't find them. And that's why I think the Saints are going to win this game. Other than that, I'm going to go with the Rams and Green Bay. I'm going to just say this. I know the Rams.
Why couldn't this be in the football picks?
Hey. Rams and Green Bay. I'm going to say this, that the Rams, they got pumped up. They beat Seattle. They had Seattle's number because they could shut them down offensively. But there's a problem. the Rams were starting, their second or third string quarterback. And then because their starting quarterback was hurt or they couldn't decide what to do. So he comes off the bench and he's miraculous and he's broken hand and all this. Okay, that's all well and good. That was last week. This is this week. You the man. You know, coming out the box, you're starting and you're going up to 22 degree temperature, the frozen tundra. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the frozen tundra. While your hands, he's going to find a way to come out that game or something is not going to be right. He's going to start doing this. And Cam Akers is not going to run like he did crazy against Seattle. And then Aaron Rodgers, just because Black Thor was talking that mess, going to throw that ball about 45 times. They're going to have about 35 points easy. I'm telling you, the Rams are cool, but their golf is showing you he's not ready. They just don't. The defense gets up, but it gets cold. People start looking around, pointing fingers. I thought it was your fault. No, hey, Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, I think is going to take that game. The other game, the Ravens in Buffalo. I think Buffalo, talent-wise, and I just say this, talent-wise, I think Buffalo's the better team. I do. The way they've been playing this year, Allen's been slinging that rock, wide receivers getting open, catching that ball, moving forward, defense kind of lining up, playing a little decent for Buffalo too. But if Buffalo lets Baltimore hang around and you get it close, the equalizer, bro, you're the equalizer. The Energizer Bunny, Lamar Jackson is going to find a damn way. So you better go on and get out there, score your little points, get up by 21, and find a way to sack him. The thing, too, is about Baltimore, everybody knows this, but they cannot stop it. Two things happen where he has two keys. The tight end Edwards, right? That's his guy. And Hollywood Brown, you get a little physical with him, you kind of shut him down. And that's all you got to stop. Because you're not throwing anybody else, really. Those are his guys. But when you do that, there you go. It's like what, you remember that old electric football number 2 you had when you make that bounce, move, you keep going, and then after the announce, that's Lamar Jackson. If they keep it close, Baltimore should win. So if they keep it close, I'm going with Baltimore. But if Buffalo comes out, plays their game, they get up a couple of touchdowns and can hold him at bay, I would choose Buffalo.
All right, for you bettors out there, the over-under in the Buffalo Ravens game, 49.5. In the Rams-Packers game, it's 45.5. In the Buccaneers and Saints game, is 52 points. So they're expecting a slugfest, and folks are going to be slinging it around with the two old quarterbacks. And with the Browns and Chiefs, over under 57. So they're expecting a lot of points to be scored there. It should be interesting.
That Saints-Bucks game, I'm telling you right now, I don't know. I'm just a guesser. You better take the under. It's not going to be what you think it is. Michael Thomas got his first touchdown last week all season. He was on my fantasy team. I'm still mad. Anyway.
Yeah. I was like, his first touchdown?
The whole year.
All year.
That was my number 1 pick. Anyway.
Wow. All right. College basketball real quick. Watched the game last night. Shaka's team dropped at Texas Tech with McClure hitting the three-pointer. Used to be at Georgetown. Now he's getting his shine at Texas Tech. And so they're number 4 at this particular point. But we'll see what happens later on the week when the new standings come out and they're at 10-2. Gonzaga's still number 1, followed by Baylor, Villanova. Also, of course, we just talked about Texas, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan jumps up 3 spots to the number 7, followed by Creighton, Wisconsin, the team that Ice keeps talking about, in Tennessee. Ice, what stood out for you this week, man?
Well, the fact that you just mentioned Wisconsin, I don't know what happened. Michigan destroyed Wisconsin 77-54. Mm-hmm. Ohio State found a way to beat Rutgers. That was interesting to me. Oklahoma State over Kansas. Oklahoma State has some very good players. Maybe one guy that might be the number 1 player in the NBA draft. You might want to check them out. But there's also Iowa destroyed Minnesota. But there's one team nobody's really talking about that I think you should pay attention to. It's Tennessee. You hear that, Black boy? Tennessee. 9-1.
Write that down, Black. I see you.
Yeah, write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah, I'm writing it down, baby. I'm writing that down.
Tennessee,
I got it.
Tennessee is 9-1.
ENN.
Yeah, there you go. They beat Arkansas and they beat a very good Missouri team that was undefeated. And there's, Barnes is over there coaching and they're quietly just playing a game. And that tough SEC, nobody's looking at them, but they're coming to play. And I think you're going to start to see them slowly but surely start to make moves to get up there even closer. It's weird this year for the rankings because Michigan has won a lot of games and proven that right now they're probably one of the better teams in the country so far. But the folks that are voting refuse to put them up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And, same thing with Tennessee. I know they were waiting for them to beat a marquee team or whatever, but it's going to be interesting. We got a really great game coming up soon. I think 3 on Saturday. Baylor at Texas Tech. It's going to be a great game.
Yes.
Wisconsin at Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, my big Jamaican comes over. Illinois versus Ohio State. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. There's some teams that I want to spend some time on that made significant jump in the rankings. UConn jumps up 16 spots to get that number 25 spot. Ohio State jumps up 7 spots to get number 21. Virginia, just when you think they're done, they jump up 4 spots to get back to the 18th spot. Duke, who has played just 8 games, they jump up 2 spots. I don't know why that is. And the other team, Clemson, a lot of teams haven't, even though North Carolina kind of barely beat them, I think last week, they jumped up 7 spots and they're at number 12. But that Michigan team, I think what I'm looking at, and maybe I'm wrong with this, and maybe you can correct me, Ice or Black, but it seems like the teams that get on the major networks or get those ESPN games seem to be ranked higher than teams that are playing well, but they're not marquee matchups or not getting the marquee matchups in those games.
Guess I've noticed that.
Yeah, I've noticed that because, Gonzaga's been getting a lot of love, Baylor, of course. But Michigan, I haven't seen too much of Michigan. You got to go on the Big Ten network to watch Michigan. Tennessee, you really can't find them. Wisconsin, you got to go on the Big Ten network. Clemson, you got to go to the ACC network to get that. West Virginia, unless they're playing teams like Kansas, you don't really get to see them that much. So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at Louisville too. They jump up 11 spots to get to the number 16. Has anybody seen Louisville play this season? I know I haven't. Right,
and I think that's where, if it does come into play, it's because of the factor that the voters can't watch either.
Right.
Or maybe they don't have because usually you have opportunity to go, I'm going to watch this game. But if they're at home and they're not in the offices, maybe they don't have that satellite to be able to bounce around like that. Or they're not watching the games, period. Because that's the other thing, too. But I think Baylor, Gonzaga, I want to watch Tennessee. I want to watch them coming up real soon just to kind of see how it goes. But I think it's wide open, which is why I think they need to have March Madness. Seems like they might have March Madness after all. But have March Madness in the bubble and put it in Indianapolis. And then you actually, since you're right, you ain't that really far over. You can drive right over. You can get you a ticket in Indianapolis. You can see all the damn games. You ain't gotta worry about TV. Get your mask. Get about 14 masks.
Give me a
mask a day.
For popcorn.
Yeah. Get you one of those little things they put in there so nothing comes out that you can just keep drinking. Use the restroom at the same time. Anyway,
Wouldn't make it home.
Yeah. Get some snacks, man, and you good to go. All you need is 14 days, guys. Come on now.
Yeah. All right, Black. You watching yet, or you still in the cut?
I'm still in the cut, bro. I'm gonna get there though. I'm still in the cut. We're getting close. February's coming, right? I'm still in the cut.
Next month. All right. Why you mad, son? Tell them why you mad this week.
I'm trying to find something. Well, maybe I do have something, man. I do. And it's not has me real mad, but kind of mad. The mere fact that the Houston Texans rolled away, they put together a group of qualified applicants to seek out and find a head coach and a general manager. and it consisted of Tony Dungy, a few other people. And at the last minute, they came with this qualified applicant, and the owner was going to decide, was basically going to hire. And out of nowhere, they ripped around and grabbed somebody that's unqualified, in my opinion, from the Patriots to basically handle the organization as a general manager. Now, to me, if you look at the Patriots, who they kind of sent off lately, I haven't seen much success. Bill O'Brien was there. He was a general manager. That's why that team is in the position that it's in. But I'm going to go even deeper than this. When they had the audacity to say, we're not even going to talk to Eric Bieniemy, that's where Watson, I think, went off the trail. It's not about who you brought in as a general manager. When this guy had the audacity to say, we're not even talking to Eric Bieniemy, what general manager right now, currently going on NFL, would not want to talk to one of the best offensive coordinators that's going on? And why wouldn't you? Realistically, unless you got somebody else playing, you plan on hiring. Other than the mere fact that he's an African-American. Let's be honest, man. So that has me somewhat mad. And because for a while, no one really wanted to say they was tampering around or trying to act like, well, they don't owe him anything. But maybe he's pissed off at the fact that they said they was going to talk to him. And for some reason, you hired this bonehead. He doesn't see the need. Now he wants to. But you had a chance to talk to him last week when they was basically going to buy with no problem. Now you got to wait till when they're not playing anymore. So realistically, you're trying to make it up now to Watson. So for that reason, man, I'm mad. I hope that they find a way to do the trade him because, as Andre Johnson said, the Texans has killed a lot of careers there over the years, bro. Yeah. Killed a lot. Think about the quarterback that was drafted there years ago. I can't think of his last name right now. He was back with the Giants for a while. They killed a lot of careers, bro. So with that being said, and other people are telling you that, bro, get out of there. You got to sit out and force your hand. And I'm not all about that, even what we see what Harden did. But force your hand and get out of there, man. Don't play for a team realistically doesn't really want you or respect you. It may be primarily because of the way you look.
Yeah, I agree with that. And stay tuned to my last second shot. I got a prediction of where Eric Bieniemy is going to coach. Ice, why you mad, son?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do that last second shot. I thought about that, but I'm gonna jump on this right now. Here it is. Why am I mad? How many times do we need to be told that Eric Bieniemy doesn't interview well? How many times do we need to be told he's not the right fit? He doesn't wear the right clothes, doesn't look the right, doesn't talk to the right people. He doesn't call the plays. It's always some BS. But yet, let's talk to the quarterback coach. He's a nice guy. He's been this and that. What the hell has he done? All I'm saying to you is this. If you miss the boat on Eric Bieniemy, it's going to be on your fault. My only thing is what you don't want to talk to Eric Bieniemy, even if he's not a great interview. But quit spewing venom. Why is it that you say one thing, people that don't like him, other people say something else? It's too conflicted. At least give him a chance. So me tell Bill O'Brien, because he was under the tutelage of the great Bill Belichick, was awesome. He's a great head coach. He hadn't done shit. Seriously. So why can't you give Eric Bieniemy an opportunity? If I was Eric Bieniemy, I would sit back, watch, and say, who do I want to coach? If not, I'm good where I am with Kansas City. I would put them and let them know, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. If you can't give me what I want, the hell with you. Again, Atlanta, wake up. Wake up, Atlanta. Stop, as the man said, stop letting people cloud what you're doing. Because you're about to cost yourself an opportunity for a great guy that's going to run your franchise. And last but not least, Atlanta. You know what it's like down there. Y'all know y'all need a black quarterback. Y'all need a black coach. You need everything like that. That's how you're going to make some money. All I'm saying to you is wake up. I hope they do the brother justice and he gets somewhere he wants to go, not the Jets.
Black and Ice, you're going to love this one. I was reading a report just before I got on the air that Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, is about to buy a WNBA franchise. There should be a rule. If you screwed up in one in one sport, and you You can't do justice in one sport. You can't buy her own another franchise in another sport. There should be a rule in sports where one owner can't monopolize and go to the NBA and screw it up the way you screwed up the Raiders after your dad built that franchise. There should be a rule. I don't call it the Al Davis rule or whatever. I don't care what you call it. But there should be a rule that if you're an owner, that would be like Mike Dolan saying, you know what, I think I want to own an NFL football team now. No, you don't get to screw up one franchise and then go to a completely another sport and screw up that franchise. Please, the governing bodies, don't think about the money. Think about what this dude is doing with his own franchise in the NFL, and don't let him in. Close the door. Cancel meetings. Do not let him own a WNBA team. Please, period. Questions from the squad. Black, I'm going to you first.
Yes, that's a question. I came across this one day this week, man, and it seemed like some of the players from the Dolphins are not excited about playing with Tua. They came out and spoke. They believe that he's not what they kind of linked him up to be, and they don't even like the idea that the team is possibly not making him compete for a starting job next year. Is that something that current Dolphin players should be feeling? Or are they well aligned with this?
Wow. Ice, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I think he should get an opportunity. I mean, but maybe they are showing him a little favoritism because he came in, they made a big deal of it, and when he's healthy, he's trying to learn the situation. But I think deep down inside, even though they're not saying it, they're hoping that trade comes through. Everybody's been hearing about that trade. You know what that trade is? Mr. Watson to Miami for Tua. That's what they want, really. And I think maybe they just don't have a way of hiding it. And I think Watson is a gamer. Not saying Tua can't be, but Watson is a gamer. And you bring him over to Miami now, they might be trying to move quick. Move quick. I mean, Tua may be great down the line, but we know what Watson is now. So maybe that's the reason behind that.
I gotta be biased with it. I don't like Miami's coach. I haven't liked him in the last couple of years, but what he did, and we ain't going all that. I don't really like Miami. I heard the rumors about the trade of Watson. I think this is unfair. This guy just got his first taste of the NFL, and it takes time for quarterbacks to develop in the NFL. And these players, they need to show their face and show who they are, who is saying this. Like you say all the time, Black, be a man, stand behind your words, and come out and say what you're going to say. So, I know Miami has made strides in their play, but I still don't like the Miami Dolphins. I like Tua, but I don't like the Miami Dolphins. And maybe if they do switch him somewhere else, it'll be better for him. But I really we're not feeling folks just saying that, trying to get another player. And I don't want Watson to go to Miami, to be honest. I wish that he goes to another team, a team that I think that will be better suited for him and that could win with the talents that he brings. So, I'm not really feeling those players really kind of coming out and saying that, if they're saying that. And if they're coming out and saying that, be a man and tell us who you are and how you feel about it. Black?
I agree with that point about speaking behind and saying that, but I think there's some smoke here, gentlemen. I really do. I think the team, the guys that are saying this, seen him in practice, they ain't like the fact that the coach yanked them out of games and Fitzpatrick came in and played better. And to me, I think they went to him a little too early when the season was when they probably could maybe win a game or more or two. And you had a little residual of that because they didn't make the playoffs. But I also think that the team itself, the owner, general manager, and the head coach, they're not sold on him. They're not. They're saying the right things, but they're not sold on him. They've seen it, and they're just not sold on him. And one thing they did say in the article, Kobe did say, look at the quarterback with the Chargers. And so that's the thing now. I get sit and wait, but now people are expecting you to come and hit the ground running. Look what the quarterback did in Phoenix a few years ago, Arizona Cardinals. He came in that year, you saw it, bro. So now when you come in as a rookie and you're heralded, you don't have the time to come in now and just be lackluster. Because what these cats are saying, and I don't respect them for what they're saying without putting the names on it. What they're saying is that you're starting to mess with my money. You're starting to mess with the time I have left here playing this game. So if you ain't cutting it, I don't want to be out there breaking my ass for you. That's what I hear.
All right. Ice?
Yeah. Flashback Cleveland versus Pittsburgh.
Here we go. Let this go.
I mean, it's a legitimate question.
Okay.
At the end of the game, they showed Ben Roethlisberger sitting on the bench. He was talking to Pouncey. Pouncey retires and basically telling Pouncey he was sorry. He knew this was probably Pouncey's last time in the run as a Pittsburgh Steeler. He told a lot of people he was sorry. And they even showed Ben shedding a tear. So with all that being said, do the signs show that this is a wrap for Mr. Roethlisberger as a quarterback in the NFL and particularly in Pittsburgh?
Black?
I said this early. Steelers got to stop treating him with kid gloves. He's not what he used to be. I mean, Tom Brady is playing well for his age. Don't get me wrong. Ben still think he's 25. He approaches the game that way. He throws the ball that way, and he's not. I'm going to say this. You would do it in any other player. You got to reduce his contract, and you got to bring someone else in. And he has to know the person that's coming in, whether being drafted or not, they're our future. And if you can't tolerate that, hit the high road, bro. Hit the high road. You have a young crew of receivers. He can't get the ball to him like he used to, and he needs to. Stop acting like he still has it when he doesn't, bro. I don't care how many tears he shed or whatever. That's reality. You got to deal with him like you would deal with any other player and move on. It's time to. Either he can stand back and nurture someone and play some next year, but if he thinks he's going to play all 16 or 17 games next year without basically looking over his shoulder and thinking that he might be taken out, he's got to go.
I've been done with Ben at least for 5 years. I was done with him when he was carousing around high schools for little high school girls. I was done with him when he was taking sloppy seconds from Stormy Daniels. I'm done with Ben Roethlisberger. I say it every year. I'm done with this dude, man. I'm done. And I don't know why for the life of me. I know Pittsburgh is like a family organization. They're very loyal to their players. But Ben got to go for the 6th year. Ben has to go. You're not going back to the Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger. You're not. Get another quarterback. Draft another quarterback. Drop him. Take a chance. You got a good team. You got good receivers out there. Get rid of Ben. 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers in the playoffs. If that doesn't tell you, and I don't give a damn him shedding a tear on the sideline. He needed to have been gone a long time ago. Don't give a damn. Don't give a damn. He let down the whole team. He can't get the ball down the field. He can't move in the pocket. I have no more words for Ben Roethlisberger. But the Pittsburgh Steelers organization need to bite the bullet. And this is my 6th year saying this. Get rid of Ben Roethlisberger as your quarterback. He's not going to get you there. Ice?
Yeah, well, he did shed some tears, but maybe he was kind of contemplating what he was going to do next. Maybe he's going to retire and walk away. But it's going to be a long time between now and next season for him to think about it. Pittsburgh should bring him back so that they can continue to have the slip-ups and not make.
Oh, man. See, there you go.
I'm just saying, logic says if you bring him back, you're going to get the same result, right? You went 11-0, considered the best team in the world and whatever. But the whole point of it is, I think you're right. They do have to start looking at other options. They need to at least draft somebody. And if he get in his feelings, so be it. Green Bay did it, right? Green Bay did it. We don't know what that guy's going to end up being. Yeah. But maybe that's going to light a fire on him. Maybe that'll make him play better if you get another quarterback to come in there. But I said this a long time ago, and I know they won't do it, but if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm talking to a team, and they may not do it because they might be looking for a new quarterback too. I'm looking at the Indianapolis coach because I truly believe that Jacoby Brissett in the right situation with the right talent can be more than a damn serviceable quarterback. He can be good, and he can be a leader that does well with a team that already has everything set together. Because when they threw him in that situation when the quarterback got hurt before, he did a decent job. And I'll be looking at somebody like that would not cost you a lot of money and let the guy play. Plus, he can run.
If they ain't looking at Watson, they wasting their time. If they ain't looking at Watson and getting rid of Ben, they got to make a big splash at quarterback. They have to. Black, you got another one?
Ooh, this one goes back to Eric Bieniemy, gentlemen. I wouldn't have said this a week ago. There's some jobs out there still remaining. You figure, Philadelphia came available. Jacksonville's off the table. I don't think he probably was ever in contention for Jacksonville anyway. It seemed like, Houston might be adding a coach for a throwback, the guy that was with Dundee years ago. Can't think of when he coached in Detroit as well. He might get the job, which is kind of really crazy to say this, but Marvin Lewis may get the Detroit Lions job. I know. It's just nuts, but it seems like that's where they're going. But with all that being said, with that happening, I'm starting to think, and I want to get two guys' opinion. Eric Bieniemy may never get an offer, bro. And I'm just wondering, he may never get an offer. I'm going to leave it as a question. Is there a possibility that with all these jobs that are open, he may not, when it's all said and done, he will not have a head coaching job?
I'm going to say my prediction to the end of the show, but Ice, what do you think?
I think there's a chance he may not get an offer, but I think there's one or two jobs that you at least have to, unless he does something that's criminal, bruh. If you go out after some of these retreads, the man deserves a shot, okay? I'm just saying. I'm watching now where they're saying San Francisco defensive coordinator is probably going to get the Jets job.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying right now. What the hell has he done? I mean, when you look at it, okay, has he been a head coach? Eric Bieniemy has a ring. So with that being said, out of all these teams, because I think the only thing he wants Houston now because of the fact that thinking Watson may leave unless he can guarantee that Watson's going to be there. And does he want to be there when he's like the sloppy thirds or whatever? Does he even want to talk to them? The team, I was saying, I think he will get the offer, and I think it's going to be the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Atlanta Falcons, because they need it in more ways than one. And they can build around him. They can do a lot of different things in regards to when they start to move forward. And I think they need a spark. You think about Julio Jones. You also think about the other Ridley over there. And you get a running back. All he needs is some people around him and some good coordinators. I think he can take off. I say he will. And if they got any damn sense, it will be the Atlanta Falcons. They give him a shot.
I think he will maybe get a couple of offers, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think Eric Bieniemy is really worried about getting offers from other teams with the spots that are open right now. I really don't. I think the press and we are more worried about him getting offers and getting a shot at a head coaching job than he is. But what are your thoughts, Black?
I don't think he is, bro. I just don't. And I'm not sure why. I don't know. I just don't know why. I mean, I think there's a part of him that maybe not does interview well, and I think they're kind of using that to kind of like flatline him a little bit. But it's something else other than that. And I think that if he doesn't get a job, what the NFL really needs to do is speak with these teams and find out why and be translucent about it. Don't be clear. Don't just kind of cast through it. They can do whatever they want to do because he's well qualified to have a head coaching job based on doing the work. So if they're not hiring him, and I just can't take solely on not interviewing well, there's got to be something else about him that they're running from. Like I said, the guy with the 49ers, he basically had the job in New York. That job is his. And the Jets claim they like Eric Bieniemy, but then why are they moving to hire this guy? And I heard someone on television the other day say that a lot of these teams that he spoke with are requesting second interviews with some of these cats, but he hasn't gotten a second view with anyone. So it's like they talked to him, maybe because they were just trying to talk to somebody black, but they're moving away from him quickly. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. And the interesting thing is, Tony Dungy was pushing for this other cat to get a job. Who's pushing for Eric Bieniemy? I know what's name came out and said a couple of things, his quarterback, but who is really standing up for him? I mean, Andy Reid hasn't said much. I'm not saying he should have to, but no one's out there championing for Eric Bieniemy.
Okay. Ice, next question.
We got two major situations in NFL, really three, but we're going to stay with two. So what happens in the event and which way do they go? New Orleans Saints don't make it to the Super Bowl. Drew Brees retires. Who replaces him? Indianapolis situation the same way. You have a quarterback. Two teams that really have playoff hopes for the future, in the immediate future. What happens? Do they release, if their quarterbacks leave, who do they replace them with? How do they move forward? Colts and Saints.
Black?
I think in both cases, man, they're going to stand pat with what they have, bro. I know people's talking about Colts, and here again, there's some games that their quarterback cost them. Rivers cost them throughout the year, but he kind of got better. And part of it's kind of play calling, and I think they can kind of narrow that down. I don't know who else they're going to bring in. They're not sold on, the cast you spoke of, the backup quarterback. So who's they going to bring in to kind of replace him? There was talk was that the quarterback from the Eagles might go there, but now that Peterson's gone, I don't think he's going nowhere. Peterson's gone. They made it seem like the team never really got along with Peterson, that a lot of players didn't care for him, and they want to believe that Wentz got him fired. Not what he did with the play call. I mean, with the bringing that quarterback. They want to believe that Wentz, when the owner talked, and the owner probably said to him, what I need to kind of get this going, he's got to go. And they fired him. So I think the Saints, win or lose, they're coming back with Drew Brees because they're going to try it again. Now, if he wins, I don't think they'll bring him back. If they win the Super Bowl, I don't think they'll bring him back. But I don't think they're ready to turn that over to anyone else other than him. I just don't do it. And he's still playing at a decent level. He's not what he used to be, but he's still playing. And if you're getting this far with him, if they, preferably we assume they're going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If they play in a championship game with Drew Brees, why would you turn around next year and give it to someone else? When he's basically playing with bad ribs, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you on Wentz. I don't think Wentz has that much pull in the Philadelphia organization. I think the players really had a lot of pull with their comments and him losing that locker room. I'm not surprised I wouldn't be surprised they get rid of Wentz also, because Jalen Hurts is, to me, the Philadelphia quarterback. But with New Orleans, I think they're going to go with either the backup quarterbacks they have now with Hill or Jameis Winston. They've been grooming those guys, so they know the system. Unless they bring that somebody else just comes in through the college ranks to come in and help them out. They did fairly decent when Brees was out. With the Colts, I don't know. Brissett should be the guy. He was the guy before Rivers came in, and I think he should be the guy after Rivers leaves. But I can't see Rivers and Brees being there next year. After all they're going through, and with Brees, it looks like it's his last hurrah. Rivers just needs to be just retired. I mean, he just can't do it. He can't do it. And I thought if he would have won that game with the Bills, probably if he lost the next game, he would probably stay in because he thinks he has a shot. Because he really thinks he has a shot at winning the Super Bowl. I can't see it. Ice, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, let's go to Indianapolis. I think Brissett should get a shot, but they probably will not do. They'll bring somebody else in. Would probably be somebody that's older or somebody they think can just throw the ball around. Not sure what that's going to be, but I would love to see Brissett get an opportunity again. In regards to the Saints, though, I'm going to say this name because I think Drew Brees, he probably could stay. But the way he was talking and all of the backlash he received for all that chomping he was doing about when the players were mad at him and didn't want to play with him, I think he's feeling some kind of way about that too, where he's still a little hurt that everybody came for him. So he may not play. If he does not come back, I say one guy, and I know everybody's going to cringe when I say this name, but if he's not your starter, he'd be my third string quarterback. Because damn it, on certain weeks he can make you look great. Other days he can make you cringe. but he still got that fire. Come on, Fitzmagic.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
I'm serious.
In New Orleans, yeah.
You think about all of the they have. When Michael Thomas is ready, you got Kamara. The thing about Fitzpatrick, he doesn't get in anybody's way.
Nope.
Okay, he didn't tell you. He don't come out saying is the reason why we winning is because me. He just come out there and play with whoever's out there. And if you can get 5 touchdowns, clap your hands. He's scared the hell out you because he can make some bad decisions. But for the most part, he could be a great game manager with the right people. And I think involving them, particularly if you're thinking about going with Hill and Jameis, I'm making that call. Hey man, we got about $200,000.
I can see that.
Seriously. And medical, come on, man. Come on down here. You ain't got to worry about Cobra. Anyway,
especially in New Orleans, because New Orleans is a magical town. And they would.
You know, he likes to wear all them head dresses and wild clothes.
Fit right in.
Man. I need to get him a saxophone. He good to go.
Do they? Yeah, he'll fit right in. Yeah. Last second shot, Black.
Renee Montgomery is a name you may not be that familiar with, but she's a Wnba player. And she played a good part in getting the congressman elected in Georgia a few weeks ago. The woman that he was running against owns the WNBA team, and she came out a little while ago and stated that the WNBA should allow its players to basically support Black Lives Matters. And she took that upon herself to raise over $200,000 to help challenge her in the state of Georgia. She raised that in 3 days, bro. 3 days. So I say kudos to her. To me, she's a fine example when you're not afraid to do something that's right. What can be done?
All right, Ice, what's your last second shot?
It was all over the place. I didn't know what I was going to say, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Urban, if you make that choice, like you say, you're going to move down to Jacksonville, brother, good luck to you. Get your medication right. Do what you got to do. Leave a few things left in the Ohio State cupboard, because I know you've been talking to the trainers, trying to get a few people to go with you, like the stream coach. Mickey said he's staying, bro. Leave Mickey alone. But whatever you do, I wish you the best. You know, we got love for you in Ohio, no matter what scandals or whatever come up. You're one of our native sons. So good luck. Be careful. Sign a 3-year contract. Get that $12 million. Get that $36 million. Come on back home, man. Do not stress yourself out. Your wife is already on you about your medication. So get your 36 mil. If it works, if it doesn't, get the hell out. 36 mil, bro. Count it. Write it down. Take care of grandkids, kids. Move on.
Great shots, guys. I was reading a article by a journalist on Twitter, and he was being sarcastic about saying Eric Bieniemy is not a good interview. He doesn't relate to his players. You know, maybe this is why he's not a head coach. And somebody kind of fired back at him, and he's like, hey, if you don't know me, you should know that I'm being very sarcastic with this, and that this guy deserves to be a head coach. Here's why I don't think Eric Bieniemy is going to different teams, and I don't think he's worried about it. Because I foresee that Andy Reid is going to retire soon, and Eric Bieniemy is going to be the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Where else would he fit? He already knows the system. He already knows the players. The players love him, and he'd be a great fit to step in after Andy Reid. Andy Reid's been doing it for a long time, and I predict if he gets this Super Bowl this time, even if he doesn't get it, I think he'll take a long, hard look at his career. He's accomplished a lot, and I think he'll hand the keys to Eric Bieniemy. You looking at me skeptically, Black? That's why I think he ain't going nowhere, bro.
Anything can happen. I'm just going to say this. I would like for that to happen.
Me too.
So I'm not knocking it. I think it's sad if it does take that for me to get a job. I'll be honest with you. I think it's real sad, but it's going to be interesting to see because they won it again. Will Andy kind of step down? But I don't know, man. I remember when he was up here in Philly, if I'm not mistaken, I think he lost both of his sons to, they were involved with drugs, and he lost both of his sons. And shortly thereafter, he got fired in Philly. And everyone kind of thought, and I kind of said to Andy, stay home with your wife, be home with your wife. And he took the job in Kansas City right away. I'm not sure. Because, some of these cats, you see with Urban Myers, man, they're just made to be on the sideline, bro. they just made. So I don't think he's ready to walk away yet. But if he does, I would like for him to walk away next year and give it to him next year. Don't make him wait much longer than that, man. But you look at Popovich in basketball.
Yeah.
Pop ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
And Pop done win it numerous times.
Look at Andy Reid's career, man. I mean, he's pretty much done it all, man. He's been there for a long time. He has a lot of mentees that he's, helped coach and all that other stuff. And I can see him stepping away from this. And if he gets the itch again, he can go back and do it somewhere else. But I don't see him doing this for that much longer.
Hang on one second. I just got to say this, bro. I was with you till you said he stepped away and come back again.
No, I don't see him coming back.
This is the only question I have from you. If you want to walk away, you got to stay going.
No, but think about coaches who say, you know what, that's it for me. I'm not doing it.
Hang on one second, bro. Hang on one second.
They leave, and then they go,
you walking away from Mahomes in his prime and then come back to someone else? I'll leave that there, bro.
But here's the thing.
That's where you lost me.
Just because it's Mahomes' prime doesn't mean it's Andy Reid's prime. That he's been at it for a long time. He's been at it longer than Mahomes have been.
Belichick has been coaching for 44 years. What are you talking about?
That's another animal. What can Belichick do other than coach?
Andy's eating hamburgers and having a good time, bro. But I'm just saying, I was with you until you said walk away and come back later. Look at
away
from a team that won it for the next 5 years.
Look at Ryan, who's on ESPN. You don't think that if somebody came to Ryan on ESPN and said,
that's not even a fair question. That's not even a fair question.
Why not?
Question. Bro,
hey, you want to
Andy Reid is on the brink of a dynasty.
So was Bill Cowher.
You want them to walk away.
So was Bill Cowher.
No, he wasn't. No, he was on the brink of a dynasty. When?
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Come on.
He really won one.
Come on. You walk away from the Pittsburgh Steelers?
The more you talk, the more what you say doesn't make sense, bro. I'm just telling you.
Look at these coaches, man, who you know what?
Dynasty, bro.
I won.
Dynasty. Pat Mahomes is going to run. He's going to run the NFL for the next 5 to 10 years. You're saying he's going to walk away from that?
I'm saying this dude's been there for almost 30 years.
Ice, help me out. Ice, what you got? I'm sorry. What you got, Ice? Come on, man.
All I know is this. It would be nice for him to step away and let my man Wnba get it. But you ever know, you watch them movies where they come up and you be like that man, oh, Bill, you next in line, Bill. You've been waiting 22 years. Bill got his time picked out because he get the next spot, the next promotion. And right when they go, oh, yeah, they're going to make the announcement, Bill all set up, got his suits pressed out. Wife's like, yeah, honey, you look really good in this. Man, they ain't going to get that man that damn job. They going to pull a rug up on him because it don't make sense. It's like, it just does not make sense. I just don't believe that. I think that's a fairy tale. It would be nice. But are they grooming him for that? It would be great if they did that. But I think you can't wait on them, man. One, you don't know how long Andy Reid's going to wait around, how long he's going to do that, or if he is going to leave. And like I will give Black Thor this. Dude is like, look, I got a good thing going. Shoot, 5 more years. We keep getting some more wide receivers and get us another running back. I ain't no damn word. He going to start his own hamburger franchise out there in Kansas City, and then he going to add ribs, and he going to just stay there forever. All I'm saying to you is just, I can see that. But if Andy Reid did leave and come back, I think he should do it after this year and take a break, because there's one job he can have right now when he come back next year. You know what job that is? Philadelphia. Yep. Wouldn't that be great?
The other thing is that how come Daniels haven't left New England? Had a job somewhere else, didn't leave New England. Maybe the owner is in somebody's ear saying, you know what?
That's a different story, in my opinion. No, it's not. I mean, Belichick, he's waiting on Belichick to step down. He's never going to force Belichick out. But Belichick really wants to rebuild this team. So that's why he's not leaving. He wants to prove that he can do it without Tom. Here again, the Chiefs is a dynasty, bro. That team right now, here again, for the next 5 years, they can win at least 2 to 3 more championships. So Andy Reid, all of those years, only has 1. You mean to tell me he's going to wake up one day, I can win maybe 3 more Super Bowls, so now I'll walk away. No, bro. And that's one more motivation to stay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he loves Eric Bieniemy. but he ain't giving him a lottery ticket.
No, I'm not saying he's doing this for Eric Bieniemy. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying if he wins this time,
Bro,
I think there's a good chance him just stepping away. So
Bro,
I've already accomplished what I needed to accomplish.
I think some things you make up in your head, and they sound good.
I'm telling you, man. I mean,
Puma, let me just say this. I feel you and I hear you, right? Again, I think that would be great, but I don't want to put this on nobody's physical appearance or whatever, but it's kind of like a big dude sitting at the hamburger stand, man. Giving out free burgers. After a while, you know that you're supposed to just walk away. I done had my fill, let somebody else get in. You're like, damn, dog, you've been here for 3 days. You still eating.
Dynasty.
I can see him.
He's like, look,
Dynasty.
he's like, hey, man, you tired yet? Look, keep my seat. Look, I'm gonna be right back.
It would. Let's just say what you're saying is correct. Let's say they win it this year. He step away, and they go on to win another 1 or 2. It would, man. Trust me, that would kill his feelings, bro.
Well, he can step up and
get those rings.
You don't have to step away. He can step up in the front office and work for the
Not Andy Reid.
I'm gonna say the reason why I don't think that would happen is because he waited so long to win. He was getting dogged. He was getting crucified. Why can't you win? You done coach this guy. You done coach that guy. You got all this talent. You ain't win, and you finally win one. And then you go, well, that's enough. All right, I'm full.
Let me just say this.
He hungry, man.
Black, when it happened, I want you to mail me that hat.
No problem. Let me just say this. I didn't even realize this. Let me just say this. This is part of the reason why I don't think it'll happen either. New Orleans Saints were ready to take Mahomes. He moved up to go get him. Now you're going to walk away with maybe 2 Super Bowls? Bro, it's not happening. We moved up. And that offense is so deep, bro. Hill could retire next year. Guess what? They got a cat ready to place him. Maybe not as fast. Come on, bro. He's a mastermind offensively. He don't even pay attention to the defense. He ain't going nowhere. Like I said, he's at the cheeseburger buffet.
You tell me, step back, sir. Step back from the counter, sir. I've only had 42 hamburgers. What you doing?
I can see him doing it. I can see him, and I can see.
I gotta go eat, bro. I'll see you on Sunday night.
Right. Well, when it happened, mail me. I want a gold hat.
I know we all want Eric to get a job, bro. We do. We do.
I don't think he's rushing to get a head coaching job. I really don't. I don't think he's rushing to get a head coaching job.
Why is he interviewing?
I mean, people are requesting interviews. You got to go talk.
Then don't go. You can say no. Why is he interviewing?
They said the same thing, too, about the offensive coordinator for New England.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him, does he want a head coaching job? He said, yeah. Everybody said, well, we didn't think you wanted one. He's like, well, yeah, I want one. You notice his name has not really come up. People like, you're not pulling that.
I think Kraft has already gotten his ear and said, listen, you're going to be the next coach when Bill decides to step down.
And that's what, 5 years from now?
That's what I'm saying.
He ain't young either.
No, that's a long time, bro. I think Kraft thought when Tom walked away, Bill was gonna leave, but Bill ain't going nowhere. He has no life, man. That's all he knows is coaching.
You know what Bill Belichick gonna do? He gonna mess around and see how it plays out. He gonna go get some damn body like Matthew Stafford. Bring them to New England and change that whole damn franchise.
Yes, I'm telling you, man.
Watch what I say. They're like, well, how the hell did all of a sudden he healthy again? Kind of like when Punk Walton's self left the Clippers, and all of a sudden he magically healthy when he playing with the Celtics. Come on, man.
What was healed?
This is what I read that Teddy Bruschi said, that the perfect quarterback for New England. Watch Black's face when I say this. Garofalo.
I gotta go.
Hey,
He said they should go get Garofalo.
That's where he started, so maybe so.
Said they should go get Garofalo this offseason.
Wasn't the quarterback that was there one time that won 11 games when Tom got hurt? He was a perfect quarterback too for New England, right?
This was the quarterback that he groomed, so.
He did. Hey, well, if you're going to do that, you might as well go back and get Drew Bledsoe.
It ain't going to be Cam.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Drew Bledsoe's available still.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. But it ain't gonna be Cam, that's for sure.
Oh, Cam is out there, baby.
I don't know where he can go. And I'm tired of these players getting on Instagram, exercising, doing all this stuff. Get on the field and Cam bust a great. Remember Cam? Oh, you're gonna be regretting not picking me and all that, you know. Ugh.
There's one team Cam can go to next year.
Who?
And they got nothing to lose. Chicago.
Oh, have a good night, bro.